Hey there, fight fans. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this episode of Combat Sports Talk. Welcome to Combat Sports Talk, a podcast dedicated to UFC and Bellator discussion, the MMA community, and combat sports in general. I'm your host, Ryan Smith, and joining me this week is the man with the keys to victory, John Keys.
Hello, everybody. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Indeed. Happy Father's Day. I would say some really appropriate stuff, but we are trying to be family friendly today.
We have to be family friendly. It's Father's Day.
It's Father's Day, you know.
And so I've titled this show, this is Father's Day Fight Talk. So we're going to be talking fights. Hopefully we don't get in any fights, but at the end of the day, we're going to say what we say, and if someone got a problem with it, they can
pull up on me.
Well, you know, the thing about being fathers is that we're grumpy and we know things. So hopefully we can achieve that today.
Yeah, you know, we're like giant size. What was his name? Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion Lannister, right? The giant versions of Tyrion Lannisters. We drink and know things, right? Like that's what we do.
That is what we do. Yes, indeed. So, man, we had some fights.
We did have some fights. We did have some fights, and you know, what I'm really excited about is not only talking about the things that are within our wheelhouse, which is UFC Vegas 29, but we're gonna talk about getting one back for the old MMA folks. This is Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva did us a solid, so we're gonna get into it. This is the official decision. All right, this is the official decision. This is where we talk about the fights that were on Saturday night. UFC Vegas 29, Korean Zombie versus Gane, Saturday, June 19th, 2021, at the Apex Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We had 6 fights on the card, and we made lots of flash fight picks. The first one of the night was Matt Brown, who defeated Diego Lima by knockout punch in round number 2.
No, you did 2 minutes, and that was it. Okay, It was just pow down. And
I need to make sure that the sound made it to the world. I mean, you know, it was probably a little more like a
boom, rocked him.
You know, kind of one of those.
Yeah, it wasn't even a rock them. It was just boom done.
Night.
Yeah, for real. It was like, you know, once again, I told y'all last week. Leave these old men alone, okay? These old men were angry, we're crotchety, we're tough as leather, you know, we're full of vinegar, okay? We're not to be messed with, and I told y'all.
That's right, because you see, that's what we talk about. People need to realize that once you cross that big 4-0, that's when we go to old man strength. We get our first taste of old man strength. Like before then, we're at 39. We still got that youthful energy, but then we cross over, things start getting a little achy, and then it's old man strength. And Matt Brown, the immortal Matt Brown, showed Diego Lima, who I think is 8 years younger.
Yes, he
was. Old man strength is all about.
Yep. Hey, it's real. All right. I had to, you know, my son, 6'5", 325, 16 years old. And I had to move him the other day because, you know, he thought he had the old man. So I had to show him I'm grumpy. I growl a lot, you know, but I still got old man strength. Okay.
That's right. I'm not smiling. I'm grimacing. That's what's happening.
Exactly. You know.
So you might have noticed that we are a show of 4 people, but only 2 of us are here.
Yes.
Now, Kelechi, you know, he was not able to meet with us, you know, for reasons of being, you know, busy. But there's one gentleman here who is busy, but I don't think he's busy enough not to be here. I think he's busy enough not to eat this crow. And that's George G Money Stallworth, who had Diego Lima in this fight. We see you, George. We see you not here.
Yeah, George, you said you were in the air, but last time I checked, you ain't flying from China. All right, last time I checked, okay.
You ain't that far. Catching them crows.
Yeah, that's what he is, Hang with that murder. All right, let's go ahead and hang with the murder of crows.
That's right. That's right. So George G Money Stallworth had Diego Lima in this fight. Lima got sent to sleep by the immortal Matt Brown, so that's why we played some crows for George G Money Stallworth. Next fight of the night was Bruno Silva, who defeated Wellington Turman via knockout in round number 1. Thurman almost made it.
Yeah, he was making it until he didn't. And wait a minute, is Silva another old man too? Wait, let me check. See how
you got to check his age. Check his age, because
he might be another old man.
This might be the story of the old man. Well, actually, it's going to change. It's going to change, and that when it changes, that's when you eat your crow.
Yeah. You and I both got individual sandwiches to eat.
We got individual. We got individual. Sandwiches.
Oh no, he's 31. He's 31. So
Yeah, he hadn't tapped into it yet.
But this was still a rematch, believe it or not, and it was a sweet revenge rematch. Apparently,
there it is, and we got another one of those coming up too. Next fight of the night: Julian Erosa versus Sungwoo Choi. Sungwoo Choi defeated Erosa via knockout. Like, this show was like knockout, and then we started leaving it in the hands of the judges. But look, round 2, round 1, Choi was like, I don't need to see 3 rounds. I already know what's gonna happen.
And sure enough, he did. He knocked him to sleep. That's
right.
Okay, and I was like, wow.
Hey. Erosa got erased.
The fight gods were pleased. They were pleased.
Yes, they were.
In the preliminaries, and I'm veering off for a second. Preliminaries, somebody got their arm took in the preliminaries.
Yes, and the fight got stopped due to an arm break, and the fighter was still trying to fight with the broken arm, and the judges is like, whoa. The ref is like, whoa. Like, I feel you. I understand that you want to keep fighting, but this is not life and death. You did not train under Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, so therefore you do have an out.
We don't know that, sir. Okay, if she did or not. I'm looking at that.
If she did, then then I take it back. Like, for real.
You're gonna be feeling real bad. Let's see here.
Not as bad as her though.
Yeah. Her name is Kanako Murata. Okay, and she fought Verna Jandaroba.
Yeah, Verna Jandaroba. So Verna Jandaroba is just a really game fighter. I think she's the one that's kind of got the lazy eyes that kind of point out like in different directions.
You need to stop.
I'm trying to help people know. I'm trying to help people know which fighter she is. Like, she's a great fighter.
I'm pretty sure with a name like Kanaka Murata and Verna Jandaroba, I think they can differentiate which one's who. Okay, I mean, not just to sound crazy out here. I think they can differentiate. When we're saying that she could see from the left side, she saw Dana White on one side and the announcer table on the other side at the same time. That's not fair, sir. Okay,
I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's real hard to know where your opponent is looking when they can when they can see I'm just saying it's wrong.
We're awful. We're awful people.
Listen, I was watching. Did you know, this is an aside here, that a chameleon can control its eyes independently? Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
A chameleon can control its eyes independently, and that's how it gets. It has the ability to find prey. And then when it's both of the eyes are working on the one target, that's how it gets that stereo vision, allows it to shoot the tongue out, captures prey, and eat. So
I always thought that was just a cartoon thing that they just googly eyed.
No, chameleons actually can control their eyes independently.
Huh.
Interesting fact.
Hey, I learned something new. I learned something new.
Um,
And I also learned something new about Kanako. She is a former Invicta FC strawweight champion, which is why she was taking it pretty hard because she's 12-2 and she was on an 8-fight win streak until she wasn't.
okay.
So
So she's a great fighter.
Yes.
All right. So one thing that Verna Jandaroba is from Brazil. Chameleons are not native to Brazil, so
that's
just
true.
Just an aside there. So let's get back into it.
Right.
Davy Grant versus Marlon Chito Vera. Vera defeated Grant by unanimous decision. That was fight of the night. It looked like a horror movie in there by the time it was done, with all the face cuts and bruises and batters, and like this fight, this card was one for the, like, everybody ended up in the ER at some point or another. You're either getting bones set, dislocations reset, you were getting stitches, you were like, everybody went to the emergency room that night. Hey, by the way, I want to go back a couple of weeks to the fight in Houston.
Okay.
That was the fight where what's his name got hit and then he fell down 5 seconds later,
yes, I do remember the fight. Let me go back there. Yeah,
Julian, was it Julian? Can't remember. Do you know your Houston hospitals?
Not offhand. I don't do a GTA round like that.
Okay. So anyway, this fighter who got injured and knocked out, got sent to the emergency room, was there with the gator, the alligator.
You mean Jacare?
Jacare
Souza.
Yes. So Jacare Souza got his arm broken in on that card in Houston, and then this guy got knocked out, but it was a delayed reaction knockout. To and I can't remember, Edson Barbosa fought him. Anyway,
yes.
They interviewed him later. They sent him to Ben Taub Hospital in Houston. If you don't know Ben Taub Hospital, it's like one of the great county trauma centers in the state of Texas, right? But it's one of the busiest ones in Houston. And they sent these UFC fighters. He said that he watched Jacare Souza sit in the emergency room for like 3 hours with a broken arm, because during that time, 3 guys came in with gunshot wounds. One was so bad that there was an EMT doing chest compressions, riding on top of this guy on the
and I don't
on
know,
the gurney.
I don't mean to laugh at that. Okay, but it's just like, I just got through with a UFC fight. I'm sort of
like
up there.
Only reason why I bring it up is because it's like so many people went to the emergency room. Hopefully they didn't send them to the county hospital, in Las Vegas, where it's like where all the gunshots are. That they send them to some place, because if it's like they did in Houston, where I can't remember the guy's name, but he said
Shane Burgos.
Shane Burgos. That's it. Shane Burgos is saying, I'm sitting there watching people with gunshot wounds. The EMT is sitting there doing chest compressions, riding on top of this guy as they push the gurney through the emergency room. And he's like, and I'm here, and I'm like, I'm fine. I don't even need to be here. I'm waiting for an MRI, and he's like, I'm watching just carnage come through the door. So, with as much damage as fighters took at the Apex Arena on Saturday night, that was just, carnage galore.
That's Dana White saying priorities. Remember that, guys. Priorities. Okay. That was his message. Oh, man.
All right. So Marlon Vera defeated Davy Grant via unanimous decision. After the fight, he called out Dominic Cruz. And then later that night, Michael Bisping gets video and publishes it to his Instagram story of Marlon Vera backstage talking to Dominic Cruz, and Dominic Cruz doesn't have any pants on. And so Dominic Cruz is on record saying like, listen, I don't like you. And he's like, but I don't have any pants on, so this is kind of weird. And it was kind of weird because, you know, it's one of those things where you see a fighter call out another fighter, but then you get behind the scenes video like that where they're just sitting there talking. And it's like, you know, this is where it, like, okay, so you say you don't like me, but if you don't like me, then why are you allowing, if you don't like him, why do you have him in your dressing room while you're trying to get undressed? I would be like, okay, like, listen, I don't need you here right now. Talk to my people. You need to get out. Like, I don't want to talk to you. But instead, he's just like, weird.
How comfortable, you know, I like to say I'm comfortable with my own skin. Granted, I am.
Well, he had shorts on. Okay, he had shorts on though. So let's not put mental images. I know some of you out there may have mental images of a naked Dominic Cruz, and he wasn't naked. He just wasn't wearing any pants.
Not the visual imagery I was looking for today, but
so you had that image of a.
Nah, I do now. I was just thinking he was in his underwear. Okay, I'm just saying.
So he had a jacket on and his button down shirt, and then he's in his underwear and wearing socks. That's what he's wearing.
That's still weird.
It's kind of weird though.
Yeah, I have there's an order that I do to undress, and I don't usually go pants first, then jacket. Okay, that's weird. You know, it's Dominic Cruz. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, Dominic Cruz. He you know, there's something about him I just don't like. And he could be the coolest dude. No, he's not. You know what he reminds me of? He's that dude in high school that will always try to one up or prove that he was right and you were wrong. And you have to push him into the locker just because. That's who he is.
All right. Well, either way, I like the fact that you called out the fact that he took his pants off first and not his jacket and his shirt like normal people. But then again, I'm interested. For those of you who are listening, as you get undressed, do you get undressed top to bottom or bottom to top? I mean, I guess everybody takes their shoes off first, right? But, you know, do you take off the clothing pieces off your top part of your body or your bottom part of your body? Maybe we're the weird ones, and people all take off their pants first, and then they take off their top.
Okay, so let's delve on that for a second. I mean, I'm more of a layers type of guy. The more layers that I have, I take the outer layers off, the jacket, you know, then the tie, then the shirt, then I go for the pants. Pants is usually the last thing I take off. However, my question is, are you a type of person, do you put one leg on at a time, or do you hop in, or do you do two legs at a time? Do you jump into your pants? Because if you jump in your pants, you're a squared away individual. That's what I need to know.
So are you saying you're a squared away individual?
I am not that squared away individual. Once again, I'm an old man. Okay, if I jump anything, okay, I got back problems for the rest of the day. No, I'm old man. I'm grumpy and I know things. That's what I do.
The only time that I have ever found that I have balance is when I'm trying to put my pants on. Like really? if I were to try to stand up and stand on one leg right now, I'm falling over. It's just happening. But when I'm putting my pants on, dude, I am like freaking yoga. What's that, arrow pose or whatever? I got it. I don't know what it is, but the moment I have pants in my hand and I'm trying to put them on, zen, I'm there.
So you're saying is that if you were on a high beam, let's say, we're not even going to go hundreds of feet in the air. We're just going to say 20 feet in the air. That's enough to break an ankle. Mm-hmm. If you're 20 feet in the air, your mental state is, I'm putting pants on.
Yes.
That's how you're getting across.
Yes. Like, give me a pair of pants. No, just like what I would do if I had to get, like, let's say I'm in a burning building, and the only way that I can get across is by walking a tight wire to a building 30 feet away. I'm taking my pants off. I'm gonna hold them in front of me, and I'm gonna start walking. People be like, "What is he doing?" He's got balance. That's his balance.
I'm trying to live. That's what you're doing.
Trying to live.
I ain't mad at you.
Some people have that big stick where they hold that stick out and it's super long and it keeps them balanced. No, me, I'm just got my pants in my hand and I'm holding it like I'm getting ready. I might just even be hopping on one leg as I go down the wire. Because I mean, perfect balance.
Hey, I'm gonna let it ride. I ain't mad. I'm judging you, but I ain't mad at you. All right, let's just say it like that.
All right, all right. Hey, in the co-main event, you had Alexei Olenek versus Sergey Spivak. Spivak defeated Olenek by unanimous decision, 29-28 on all three cards. Somebody on this show had Alexei Olenek. That person happens to look like a gladiator. John
That's
Keys.
okay. That's okay. I was trying to rep the old people.
You
Okay.
you put the crow between the bread. Between the bread.
Do you know? Did you know? All right, that crows and owls have like major beef. Like
I did not know
major beef. Yes, that is so bad that in a zoo, if you ever go to the zoo in the aviary, you do not see crows and owls anywhere near each other. They're literally on the opposite ends. Because
like
if
the
they
Jets
see,
and the Sharks.
very much so, that you can look this up on YouTube. There are plenty of videos of showing how a murder of crows and an owl, they will harass that owl. And that, at the middle of the night, you'll see an owl swoop in on a crow's nest, excuse me, and take that crow. I mean, it is serious. They literally have a vendetta, even at a baby age. That as baby chicks, they had that natural killer instinct. Never knew that.
Oh well, but do you know why? Now I'm looking it up. The reason why is because owls can eat crows.
Can crows eat owls?
No. So crows attack owls to reduce predation.
Oh.
This is essentially when the bully has been bullying the people too long, and then they realize that there is 5 of them and one of the bully. So then and you know what they do? You know what they do?
Pull up on me.
They pull up on him.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So that's it, man. Look at this. We are flowing. We are in the flow today. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just Father's Day and we're just doing this. Yeah. All right. In the main event of the evening, we won't even really talk about the main event too much.
Well, not. Whoa! Why not? Let's talk about that good stuff.
All right, you ready?
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
The Korean Zombie defeated Dan Ige via unanimous decision. And this fight, Korean Zombie was really pretty dominant in this fight.
Surprisingly.
The results, the scorecards don't really indicate how much he was in control of this fight. Of course, George Stallworth and myself had Dan Ige. So it's coming back at me. I'm going to let it wash over me, that sound of that crow cawing in my ear, because I had Dan Ige to win that fight, and he got beaten by unanimous decision, 48-47 and 2 49-46s. That's 4-1.
Yeah.
4-1.
And he gets, the Korean Zombie is getting better and better and better. I thought this was going to be a lot more competitive than what it was, and I was extremely surprised at it.
Well, what's even more impressive is the fact that, what is it, in the second round? Maybe in the second round. I'm looking to see if it says in this article. Korean Zombie dislocated his shoulder like he did way back when he fought Jose Aldo.
Really?
So Korean Zombie was fighting through a dislocated shoulder during this fight and still scored 4-1 on the scorecards.
Wow. That means that if both his arms were fully functional, we might have had a submission or a true knockout.
Yeah. He said was fighting to hold on to a spot. Happy to maintain his decision. He did pop his shoulder in and out, and some shoulder that he messed up in the Aldo fight. He'll never say that kind of stuff, his head coach Eddie Cha revealed. In the second round, when he went for a takedown and took his back, that's where it popped in and out. So his shoulder was popping in and out during the fight, and he just had to fight through it. But he didn't let it show this time because he is a freaking zombie. And and so Dan Ige didn't see it enough to be able to take advantage of it and potentially, use that to end the fight.
Yeah. Wow. just wow. That's warrior spirit right there.
Warrior spirit, nonetheless. And that also is another reason why I am not a professional fighter, because the moment my shoulder popped out, I'd be like, time, I'm done. Tap me out. So in the Jandaroba fight, you had this girl fighting with a broken arm. You've got Korean Zombie dislocating and relocating his arm back into his shoulder. Like, this is ridiculous how much pain tolerance these fighters have and how dedicated they are to competition to fight through this pain in a chance to win the fight.
And you know what? You say that, and it just dawned on me. That is probably why he got awarded his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt that night, last night.
Wow,
that was probably it.
Well, you know, the best part of the fight is sometimes the post-fight call out. And Korean Zombie has not typically called many people out, but on Saturday night he did call out one person, his brother from Hawaii, the blessed one, Max Holloway, and indicated that Max Holloway doesn't have punching power. I think I think Calvin Kattar would beg to differ.
I think there's quite a few people that would beg to differ. Oh my goodness, man!
But Korean Zombie is looking to headhunt the blessed one. So I'm excited. I hope they pull that fight together.
I hope they do too. So I mean, because I don't get me wrong, love Chang Sung-jung, but don't mess with the blessed one, man. Okay, dude he's that dude. He is a Gracie fighter. He will die in the ring for you. You know, he will do that for you. So be very careful.
All right, let's go ahead and close the book on this one and put this card on the shelf. This one is history. Now let's look at the headlines that are making waves in the MMA world with Fighting the Angles. This is Fighting the Angles. This is where we talk about the headlines in the MMA world. I want to talk about the number one topic that we have today. This is the headliner. John Keys.
Yes, sir.
Anderson Silva. I just got to say, it's normal. It's normal.
It is. All right. So, I mean, what do they expect? Have they not seen this man's highlights? Really? Nobody in boxing looked at this man's highlights. He is known. He just has he's a legend for having the Matrix in the ring. Okay. He is a legend for doing it. What made y'all think that wasn't going to happen? Okay.
So, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. steps in the ring against Anderson Silva. This is a sanctioned boxing fight. This is not an exhibition. This goes on the record. And so Anderson Silva pulled off an upset, split decision victory, 77-75 over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in his return to boxing. We know that Anderson Silva was a boxer and a kickboxer, so he's got the skills, but he is known for his MMA prowess. And frankly, this is our getting it back. Yes, you have Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields did win an MMA fight. Yes, boxers, you did. But we got an MMA guy who is a known MMA guy who is old man strength, 42 years old.
Yep. Is he only he's 46.
They said 42 on the show, but it may be 46. So I was watching the fight, and they said 42, but
they're just trying to make it feel easy. No, he's old. He's our age. Yeah.
Yeah, he's your age. 46 years old. Wait a minute. I mean, I haven't quite made it to the midpoint yet. Don't put me over the hump. Okay. Don't put me over the hill yet. I'm not declining into the 50s right yet, but he's 46 years old. He is on your side of the midpoint.
Yeah.
So 46-year-old old man strength. 46-year-old old man strength won that fight. So look at that. You got not Kayla Harrison. You got Clarissa Shields, who's like 26, 29, something around there, going into the MMA world fighting an older fighter. We got an older fighter going into boxing and making it look easy. That's what he did.
Young kid. You know, going in there against the 46. What? It's Cesar Junior is like what, 26? I want to say
No, I don't know how
22
old
or
he is.
26. He's
No,
young.
he's not that young.
I bet he is.
I mean, this is verifiable here.
Okay.
The problem is that I can't get my fingers on the right keys. So,
okay, hold on. Let me do it. Let me.
And remember, he is a pedigree. He's 35 years old.
Yes, he's 35. Okay, okay, prime. He's prime.
He's in prime, but he comes from a lineage and a legacy. Like his father.
Yeah. Oh,
his father.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that
Julio
just goes to
Cesar
show.
Chavez.
Okay, that just goes to show, and it proves a very important point that sometimes the sequel ain't as good as the original.
Rarely is it ever. Rarely is it ever.
Pacific Rim Uprising, Rise of Skywalker, Grease 2.
I ain't seen them. I did hear Godfather 2 was better than Godfather 1.
Whew, that could be a fight right there. I could argue for both. But 3, the Carlito's Way, the Rise of Carlito. No.
Okay, all right.
No.
So Anderson Silva said that he doesn't have anything else to prove to anybody. He's like, listen, I'm 46 years old. I got into the boxing ring. I fought a younger man who has a great pedigree and lineage, former champion, former middleweight champion. Listen, what else do I need to show? He said, now I would be willing to fight a Paul brother if that can make that happen.
Oh boy.
and Jake Paul responded and said, I would love to see you fight a Roy Jones Jr. on my Tyron Woodley card. Yeah, that wasn't a yes.
No,
Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they're not saying yes to that. They saw what happened.
Okay,
in our conversation about sequels, Nick Sisson said that Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 were both good.
Okay, so Nick, you're absolutely right. Rocky 1, Rocky 2, awesome. Rocky 3, oh my God, phenomenal.
Rocky 4,
oh, made me cry. But Rocky 5,
and so on. Was there another good one after that?
Yeah.
What,
Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa was great. Yeah. And then the Creed series was great.
Creed is in the Rocky
Creed
universe.
Was phenomenal.
It is in the Rocky universe, right?
Hey, Creed's phenomenal. Creed 2.
Okay, we gonna fight, but not.
We
on
can
this
fight
show.
a little bit. We can fight a little bit, man.
Not on this show. Listen, this was what was great about Creed 2, and then I'll make one statement, and then you make one statement, and then we'll end it. What was great about Creed 2 was the fact that you got to see the return of Ivan Drago. And spoiler alert, everyone, if you haven't seen Creed 2, it's your fault.
Shame
because
on you.
It's been out forever and you had ample opportunity to see it. So therefore, any spoilers that happen on this show, it's your own damn fault. Here we go. The fact that Ivan Drago throws in the towel that Creed's father would not allow happen is what sold it for me. I thought that was a great twist in the show, and that's what made the whole thing for me. It was great.
Okay, and that is a good point. The only reason why that Creed 2 was not that great to me was the fact that it felt rushed. Because if you actually watch the extended version of Rocky 4, there is one out there. There's a deleted scene at the end that shows what happens to Ivan Drago after the fight, and it leads into Creed 2. That's the only reason why there was a saving grace for me with that, because I knew what happened to him. He got disgraced and he pretty much fell off. It was implied, but it was actually really shown. And then for that to come in there, Creed 2 needed to be like a 2.5. Well, I don't know if it was 2. I think it was an hour and a half. It really needed to be like a 3-hour movie, because there are so many things that Creed 1 set up, but they didn't follow through in Creed 2, and that they really needed to.
Creed 2 was 2 hours and 10 minutes.
It needs to be 3 hours. I need some Avenger time. I need some in-game time on that movie. Heck, I'll even push it. I need some Snyder cut time on that.
Woo.
Okay.
That movie was long. I had to watch that over a week.
Oh, you have no faith, sir. Your
I have
faith
no
was
patience
tested.
and no time. Jeez,
Your faith
that movie
was
long.
tested and you failed. Okay.
All right.
Aye.
So we got through the Anderson Silva and the boxing. I snuck this on the run sheet. I feel confident that you didn't see it, but I found this headline: Chris Weidman offers heartfelt apology to Anderson Silva. Now, for those of you who are watching and you don't know, one of the main reasons why John Keys has always hated the All-American Chris Weidman is Chris Weidman's celebration during the second fight between him and Anderson Silva, where Anderson Silva breaks his leg on Chris Weidman, and Chris Weidman celebrates.
Yes. He takes a lap. He takes a lap around the ring, arms thrown up. And I'm like, dude, really? And then he came back right after his leg break, and not Anderson Silva's leg break, but his own leg break, and then talked about how he thought when he kicked him in the leg that he just fell over in pain. In all my years of watching MMA, that I've never seen a fighter just flop over after taking a leg kick and scream in pain the way that Anderson Silva did. Yeah, okay, I've seen him flop over and be on the ground and still functional, but not like what happened to Anderson Silva. So yeah.
So it was such a shocking thing that I believe that he didn't know what happened initially, and then he saw. And in this discussion, who incidentally he was there. I guess he has a podcast, not as good as ours, but he has a podcast, and he's got Anderson Silva on the show, and he's telling Anderson Silva, like, this is what I was thinking, this is what I remember seeing, this is all how I was feeling at the time, But what he said was, he goes, the reason why I feel I have to tell you this is not only because it happened to me, and now that I have had an opportunity to walk a mile in your shoes, I feel bad for what I did after. And so he talks about the fact that eventually fans would always want him to take pictures with them with him checking a leg kick. And at first he said that he wouldn't do it, but then over time, as time got away, he just like, you know what, fine, I'll do it. And he goes, now that he knows what the recovery time and the experience is like, he felt terrible. And Anderson Silva's like, listen, when you're in the ring and you have all that adrenaline going, it's normal. You're going to react in an aggressive way. No, he literally, like, I'm going back and I'm going to get that drop of Anderson Silva saying, it's normal. But Anderson Silva's like, when you're in the moment, yeah, you're not going to behave in a way that is empathic or compassionate because you got all that adrenaline flowing through you. He goes, I didn't find that offensive at all, that what he did. So it's interesting that now that after we've had, time and history has passed, Anderson Silva's being able to say, like, listen, in that moment, I didn't have any hard feelings about your reaction to my injury. I wasn't upset with how you dealt with the fans and things like that. He goes, because Anderson Silva says, because I've seen you as a man and as a father and as, the breadwinner in the house. He goes, I know what you've been through where you've lost your house and all of those kinds of things. He goes, so why would I get upset about stuff like that? You've been through it just like anybody else. And I was like, wow. First of all, to listen to Anderson Silva speak that much English at one time was just amazing.
You need to quit.
Just amazing. Number two, for him to respond in such a giving and compassionate way really does go to show how someone can be like this apex predator that the Spider is, but at the same time have humanity. And so it really gives you kind of that perspective on how much he differs from the likes of a Conor McGregor.
Or John Jones.
Or John Jones.
Okay, so let's speak on that for a second
So I'm gonna
because
give you
you
full.
did
I'm
say
gonna
a
give you
lot.
full screen so you can speak.
You don't have to give me full screen, but I'll take it. Yeah. So with that said, all right, I often say that you cannot be as mad at the person as the offending person more than the person that he offended. In other words, if Anderson Silva is good with it, I'm good with it. I still didn't like it, but and it goes back to show what Anderson Silva says does reflect exactly what he's done in the ring. Because there's been several times that he's put people down and he goes and celebrates. And he's saying, hey, I was in the moment. I'm not even mad at that. Okay. Um, as far as what he said to Chris Weidman about, you know, he's seen him as a father and everything like that, and you're saying that, you know, for him to be the apex predator to show that type of humanity, you know, being just because you're an alpha male, there's always this misconception that you got to be a d-bag, or you got to be some sort of just a jerk about things. No. Okay, being a alpha male, okay, means that you handle business. It means that, when there's a problem, you go solve it. Okay, one only needs to look at the lion to understand that. Lions laying out in you watch National Geographic, Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom. If you're older than that, you see the lion laying out there, chilling, laying on the grass, being a cat. Lionesses are the ones doing the work, and until the lionesses are up in a tree being surrounded by hyena, then you see the lion jump into action because there's a problem. Lion goes and takes care of problem, you know, and then he goes back and chills. That's what an alpha male is. He is not a jerk about things. He is he's a male about things, because you got to be adult about situations like this. This is a critical situation about Chris Weidman, possibly career ending. Okay, and as much as I don't like the person, I do not wish anything like this on person. I don't like John Jones that much, but I don't want to see his career end. Okay, I want him to do better. That's what I wish upon John Jones. I don't need his jerk attitude. I don't need his meatheadness. I need him to be a man, to be a man, and to own up to his faults, and show that to be better. I challenge everybody to do that. Be better.
Well, and it's interesting that you mentioned the lion, because there's a quote by Ezi Okwu, who says the lion does not need to inform the jungle that he is a lion, so why should a man? And I think that's a really
Exactly.
interesting point to make, is that if there's that side joke that says, if you have to tell people you're a nice guy, then you're probably a nice guy. If you need to tell people that you're a lion, if you need to tell people that you are a man, then you probably are lacking something, because someone should be able to look at you. They should be able to look at the lion and know that he's the king of the jungle. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was an interesting quote.
Exactly.
And so, it's kind of one of those things where Anderson
I'm sorry.
Silva, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Well, who was the person that quoted that?
Ezi Okwu.
Okay. Okay.
It's a cultural awareness moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Where you at? Where you at, KC? You ain't here, KC.
So
you need it.
So it's one of those things that Anderson Silva, as soft spoken as he is, we saw what he did in the ring on Saturday night at 46-year-old against a guy who is 11 years his junior. And then he has that compassion with Chris Weidman to be able to say, listen, you were in the moment. I've seen the type of person you are. I've seen your heart. And so therefore, you're all good with me. Dude,
that's it.
Anderson Silva just shot up my GOAT list.
Yeah, he should have been up there anyway.
You know.
A man that speaks, that has an octave lighter than Mike Tyson and does the things that he does should have been way up there on your GOAT list.
All right. Talk about somebody else. Somebody else who's got a high-pitched voice. Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards has a high-pitched voice, man. Like, I'm just saying.
Off of him, dude.
Great fighter. Dude's great fighter. His voice is high. He got them high, and it's a high London accent.
maybe I need to make that as a serious criteria for how dangerous a fighter you really are. It's like, what's your octave?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
are you
Like,
do you sound like Andre the Giant or do you sound like Mickey Mouse? That's it. If you sound like Andre the Giant, I'm not really taking you serious. But if you sounded like Mickey Mouse, I got some. Yes, sir. No, sir. I think that's what I need to do. I think
it's
that's what it
possible.
is.
Well, guess what? Jorge Masvidal's had a little bit of a rough patch, and so he is looking for the next fight, trying to put that 3-piece in a soda, to get that fight together. And Leon Edwards is like, no, I want to wait for my title shot. So, so Leon Edwards really firmly believes that he's in line for a title shot. I think that based upon the way that things are working out in the welterweight division, he may need another shot. He may need another fight.
I mean, it's a roll of the dice at this moment. I think that he has a chance. He has a strong chance. But why not go ahead and cement it with a guy that you really want to put in the dirt? I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, honestly.
I think it's one of those things where he recognizes that it's not easy money. That
do you think it? Do you really think fighting Jorge is not going to be easy money for him?
I don't think that it is. I think that Jorge Masvidal is a risk. Would I pick Leon Edwards over Jorge Masvidal? Probably. But it's not easy money, because if it was easy money, then I think he would. I don't think he would be saying I'd rather wait for my title shot, because Colby Covington has already been named the next in line for the fight, so you're not going to get a title shot. So you're telling me that you're a fighter who went 600 days before your last fight, and then you're going to wait another, who knows, 200, 300 days to get your next fight? Because Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington hasn't even been booked yet. You got 8 weeks after that, and then there's recovery time, which could go as long as 6 months. So if you're thinking about it, 8 weeks, that's 2 months, 6 months of recovery time potentially. That's 8 months there, and we don't even have a bout agreement signed yet.
Yeah.
You're off on the bench a year.
Yeah. And you're absolutely correct. I mean, this does not make sense to me for him to do this, because, I mean, if anything, you and I, podcasters in the world, okay, on a very fantastic show. But if we as podcasters recognize that he might be losing his chance, what do you think Dana White's thinking?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because in my eyes, I'm like, you saying you rather wait? That you're sounding like that Masvidal is a better threat to Usman than you are. So you go ahead and take a seat. He's already stateside. Let's go ahead and get him in and get this done. You can wait. He should have jumped on that, been like, I'll fight you. He should have took it to the Kim Shamrock approach. I'll fight you in the ring, in the audience, in the parking lot, in my gym, a back alley, across the street. It doesn't matter. That's what he should have said.
Yep.
And
I agree with you.
And take the chance. If you're saying if that's in his mind that wasn't easy money, you need to train to make it easy money.
Right. He's like, I know they're talking about Masvidal, but I've been asking to fight Masvidal for 2 or 3 years ago. Like, I'm running him down, and he kept turning me down and saying, nah, I don't want to fight. Now I feel like he's been chinned for the world title. I don't feel the need to do that now. I'll wait for my title shot. I worked hard to get here, and that's just more time to plan. No, it's more time for you to sit. Kamaru Usman is pretty active.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
And what's bad, what he's not realizing in this is, and Leon Edwards, I'm talking to you right now. You're not thinking about the fact that you need perhaps one more fight, and Jorge Masvidal, because of the megastar that he is in the UFC right now, that's the fight you want. And if he's easy money for you and you can put him down the way Kamaru Usman did, you guarantee that you're next in line. But there is one more fight that he is not calculating in, and that's Gilbert Burns and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And if Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Gilbert Burns is a barn burner, and it is the one that becomes a fight that people want to talk about, then guess what? Gilbert Burns is back in because everybody wants to see Gilbert Burns get another shot at that because he was piecing up Kamaru Usman in that first round. And then the second thing, nobody's seen Wonderboy Thompson fight Kamaru Usman, and we know the kind of pressure that Dana White can put behind a Wonderboy Thompson, that all-American, persona that he represents, that whole, Christian vibe that he brings to the ring. Everybody wants to see Wonderboy fight for that title again. And so, therefore, Leon Edwards could easily be passed by, but not if you have a win over the most dangerous man at welterweight, Damian Maia, and then have a win over someone like Jorge Masvidal. You just can't. No one's going to be able to deny that. So I think that the fight with Jorge Masvidal is one that needs to be made.
You know what? There was a movie back in the 90s. And it starred Vin Diesel, very young Vin Diesel, and four of the guys. They were sons of mobsters, and they went to a different city, and they said that we need to make a name for ourselves. And they were going around like, how do we do that? And Vin Diesel said it, and it is some of the truest words that can ever be spoken. You find the biggest, the baddest person in the yard, and you go over there, and you work him down. And work him down to the point that nobody can ever deny that you were scared. And that's what, these fighters need to understand. You cannot just sit on your laurels and think that I just dispatched this guy. I'm gonna wait right here and I'm gonna get my shot. Okay, look at John Jones, people. John Jones, arguably the greatest guy to ever do it, but the number one guy to have insecurity about himself. Okay? He should have been fighting at heavyweight. He should have been. And he still has yet to take a fight for whatever reasons that he wants to. But the thing is, the UFC has moved on from him. If a guy of that stature, can be moved away from, who is Leon Edwards? Who, honestly, he needs to take a page from an anime show like Grappler Baki, go in the ring, beat these guys up. It don't matter who it is, just beat them down, and look at Dana after as he's beating on him, be like, "Is this the best you got?" And like throw him across the ring, and just be like, "Ha, next," and make them know who you are, and then they will not deny you.
There it is. Making someone known who they are, Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. Everybody knows them. Number 3 is coming up. His boxing coach, Dustin Poirier's boxing coach, says that he's going to knock out Conor McGregor in the 3rd round.
Ooh, that's big words.
Some big words.
Because we do know about one thing about Conor. If he loses, he turns into a different animal. He's motivated then. He comes back, and I think he's perfect when it comes to rematches. Yeah, he's perfect in rematches. I can't think of a rematch he lost.
Well, he's only fought one rematch.
No, he's done 2.
What's the other one?
Let's see it. There was Dustin Poirier, and then there was Nate Diaz.
But he hasn't fought Dustin Poirier yet. And so there's only Nate Diaz.
I thought there was
Dustin Poirier.
No,
Dustin
bad.
Won the rematch.
Won that. Yeah, he won and Conor won the first one. My bad. Okay, so yeah, there is that. So
you're not wrong. It's just that's just not.
I thought there was more. I thought there was a trail, people. My bad. Okay, really,
You got a data point. You don't have a line yet, so we don't have.
There
a
you go. I do not have a hypothesis.
So one thing that we do have a trend on, and we know that it to be true, is judging. You never let the fight get in the hands of the judges. We're going to skip over to PFL. Rory McDonald loses a split decision fight to Gleison Tebow.
Dang, he's still fighting?
He is, which is why it's so shocking. First round, I think it's like first round of the PFL welterweight tournament, and Rory McDonald basically does enough to win the fight, but when the cards come in, he is lost by split decision. Everyone's shocked, namely Rory McDonald and Gleison Tebow. Like, Gleason is like, wait, what? I won? Wait, are you serious? Let me see that card. I'm telling you what, man, he's going to Michael's next week, and he's going to get them to frame those judges' cards because this was the one. This was Christmas in July, baby.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, and, we've learned this. I mean, we learned this a long time ago. Dana White has said it. Joe Rogan said it. EA UFC have said it. You know, you never leave the fight in the hands of the judges. I've said it, you know, and I'm not even mad. I'm not even going to say I'm upset about this. I hate to say this is what you get. All right. But this is what you get, kind of.
He was surprised, man. It's like, but
I'd be
that's the
surprised
thing
too.
too, is that this is why you keep fighting as well,
Yeah.
because you never know
Don't,
what's on the cards. And so even though you should never get overconfident, but you should never lose confidence.
exactly. Keep fighting, people. I mean, hey, from bell to bell, just swing. Okay. Even if you have to windmill it, just swing.
Hey, so talking about someone just swinging, Sean Strickland, you're the one who sent us this. You sent us this video earlier this week. Sean Strickland is a UFC fighter. He's going to be fighting against Uriah Hall in an upcoming fight. He's training with Orlando Sanchez, known as the Cuban Tree Stump.
If you see him, you know why.
Well, yeah, the dude has no neck. It's basically head and shoulders. He's like a shampoo. You know,
He's like Bob Omb. He's like Bob Omb off of Super Mario Brothers. He's just a round circle. He's got legs and he's got arms. That's it.
That's right, Snorlax.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, we got lots of references, but the Cuban tree stump is basically they're grappling, and then you see him make Orlando Sanchez, the tree stump, make a quick move. Sean Strickland pushes him off, smacks him on the head, does a kind of a teep kick, and starts yelling obscenities at him. And so in the video that you sent me, it was very difficult to see what happened, but I got to see another video of a different angle. And what Sanchez does is he's such a big dude. Like he is built just so huge. Like Ilir Latifi is who I have in mind. It's just another one of those body shapes where it's just like you're a square human being. But he locks onto the arm and twists at the elbow, and it gives Strickland just a moment of acute pain, and he freaks out because he's got a fight coming. And when you're a fighter who you're training and you've got a fight coming, you don't want anyone doing anything that could jeopardize your opportunity. And that's what it looked like to me. They were kind of jawing at each other, not really agreeing with each other. And then this thing happens. And so in some way, it did feel kind of like maybe this was a little bit of you think you're so big and tough. Well, maybe if I add some complications to your training camp, maybe you'll be a little more respectful next time. What do you think about that?
From what I saw, it was just he was teaching him. I mean, were they being a little spicy towards each other? Possibly, but there was an arm trap, and you could take that with one or two ways, like, oh, you're trying to sabotage me, or, oh, I need to watch out for that. Because like he was saying, the move was a simple move. You've got to be aware of it when it happens. It's nothing personal. You had your arm out there, and I showed you what happens when you keep your arm out there for too long.
Yeah, but can we agree that if Sean is training for a fight with Uriah Hall is not going to do that?
Then why train in grappling?
I mean, you still need to train some grappling. Maybe it's your strategy to do some grappling because that's how you mitigate the risk that that someone like Uriah Hall is going to bring.
Yeah, but at the same time, that you got to be prepared for the unexpected. That is one thing that you I mean, you can prepare. You can't prepare for everything, But if he has something to show you, be prepared for that. And I'm not, and we can both agree, it was not cool at any level. All right, we can both agree. But there's we need to be there. I need a little bit more time we got there, before we got to that point, because it looks like to me that Orlando was just in the middle of training and he just went for what he knew, and it wasn't malicious, okay. But what Sean did was extremely, you could be mad at somebody, but to throw two strikes at a person, yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem, and we got to fix that real quick.
I really do think that Sean Strickland reacted because he was afraid of getting injured.
Oh,
When you see the way that Sanchez pulls down on his arm and how quickly he reacted to it, it's not and there wasn't one of those things where he began to kind of say, okay, you've left yourself open for. It wasn't an educational thing. Maybe there's more to come in the video, but it's really one of those things where when I'm looking at it, I'm saying this was wrong, dude. You don't do that when a guy is in training. I'm not gonna have the audio because the audio is full of obscenities, and I don't want to spend the rest of my afternoon
bleeping out the entire
bleeping out
stuff.
words. But we can look through the part where it happens and just see. Let's look at it together and see what you think. Okay, so
okay, we can do that.
We have it here. This is Sean Strickland and Orlando Sanchez. Orlando Sanchez is known as the tree stump. So here we are. Look how big that dude is. I mean, he's just
First of all, and he is a grappling champion, Abu Dhabi grappling champion at that. So here they go. They're going like this. He's there.
And
right
you
there.
see, he tried to do that. Now, in that moment, he could have explained, like, this is what you're leaving yourself open to, but he didn't. They're still going, and I know that's getting a little blurry there, so it's hard to see.
And then he's going to do it with that right arm.
And he's going to get it, and he locks it right there. And you see, like, right there, like, I could see how Sean Strickland would be concerned about someone taking that action against him. Like, let's go back to that. Let's go back to it.
Okay. But one thing you're gonna okay, go ahead.
Look at how hard he jerks that though. Right? Yeah. Hyperextending it.
Okay, so if that's the case, if he was being, facetious about it, why is it the next frames he's actually coming out hands out and like, dude, I didn't mean that. That seems like it was more of a nature of his training rather than something like malicious. Because if I was being malicious about it, we would have been fighting right there. It would have been more fighting to it. But he came out as like, hand palms out, apologizing for it and explaining that was it. I didn't sense a maliciousness behind that. Like, oh, my bad. I'm so sorry that I did that. I didn't see that. I saw what I saw was, hey man, there's nothing serious about it. This was just training, man. That's what it was.
So the one thing I gotta say is, have you never done anything shiesty and then been like, oops, I'm sorry, hands up, I didn't know that? You telling me you've never done that?
Never done that. Believe me, if I've done something malicious, I did it with an evil smile and a pointing, and like, that's what you get.
Listen,
that's
all I gotta
what
say,
you get.
All I know is that if
you've done that,
if it's your word versus mine, look, I can't say I didn't do it. It would be a lie to say I didn't do it. But at the end of the day, you don't want to train with someone who is going to take an action and they don't have control enough. Like, you don't want to be training with that dude, because
you don't want. Well, I don't think you want to be. I don't think it's that. It's just that if you got some beef with that guy, I wouldn't train with a guy that you have any type of beef. I'm not training with Husamar Palhares. I'm not going to do that. All right. No.
Who's also known as the tree stump.
Yes. He'll take your leg home.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Vitor Belfort is fighting Oscar De La Hoya. That's all I know.
So Nate Diaz, coach, reveals why he's completely against.
Yeah. I mean, we made the announcement. There you go. Vitor Belfort is fighting Oscar De La Hoya. Don't know why this fight is even relevant. But there you go. We finally got another Triller fight on the cards. We'll see what happens.
And poor form. It's on September 11th. On top of that,
yeah. The one thing that I'm hoping for, I mean, I got to root for Vitor Belfort just so we can say another MMA fighter won a boxing match. So
yeah, let's just pray that he's not juiced to the gills. Okay.
Why would we pray? Why would we pray? Like, let him be juiced to the gills. No,
because then they're gonna sit there and say, "Well, there it is. That only an MMA fighter can cheat to win." No, I want him clean. I want him clean and a little, deflated, and go in there and knock De La Hoya out, because Vitor Belfort also has a boxing record, and his last fight as a boxer, even though it was like 10 years ago, it was a knockout. So that's what I'm looking for.
I don't care if when Vitor Belfort goes and pees, that thing glows like freaking uranium and smells like 15-day-old cheese. I don't care. Like, go in there, win one for the old MMA, and let's chalk that one next to Anderson Silva. But we'll go ahead and move on. Nate Diaz, coach. I only put this in here because I wanted to run a little victory lap with you, where you were saying that Nate Diaz and Damian Maia was like, a fight that you wanted to see and you thought that would happen. And Damian Maia called out Nate Diaz, and I'm like, no, Nate Diaz doesn't want this fight at all. And this is another one where it's like the coach is like, we're not fighting Damian Maia. There you go.
Well, why not? Well, why not though?
Well, because it's a lose. Basically, the argument is it's a lose-lose. Because if Nate Diaz loses, Nate Diaz has all of this star power right now. He can have any fight that he wants. And so if he goes in there and fights against Damian Maia, then he just lost to a 44-year-old guy that's lost like his last 4 fights or something like that. And then if he wins, it's like this is a guy that's leaving the sport anyway. So doesn't progress his story about climbing the ladder. He'd basically be doing a favor for Damian Maia because it'd be a payday.
There should always be a clause in a UFC fighter's contract that his last fight out, he gets to call whoever he wants to come fight him. That should be in the clause. Like, this is my last fight. Here's who I want to go out with. I want Damian Maia can sit there and say, I want Francis Ngannou in the ring just for a good old scrapping. And Dana could be looking over there like, are you sure you want that? Yes, that's what I want. And Damian Maia says, and let it happen.
I think that we could call it the call your shot clause.
There you go.
Call your shot clause, but you would have to have done something significant. Like, you need to have been in the UFC for like 10 years. You'll have need to either fought for the title multiple times. Like, you have to have a star-studded career to be able to call your shot, and you have to leave after this
once
fight.
you're out, you're out. You're gone. That's the one thing.
If Damian Maia were to beat Francis Ngannou, he's like, oh, wait, I'm the champ now. No, you won, but that's your last fight. You're out.
Yeah.
You have to go out on your shield. Even though I think that if he fought Francis Ngannou, if that was his shot that he called, he would be going out on multiple shields.
He would be going out on a gurney.
He would be broken.
He would be dead. All right. No, I'm not. I don't want that to happen to Damian Maia because he's a cop. Cop instincts might kick in. He might arrest.
I don't want him. I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen to Francis Ngannou because dude be charged with murder.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of being charged, see what I did there?
Your segues are very. You set up. Don't you say you have set up 30 some odd segues today, dude? Okay, I think
set up my segue.
Up for you.
UFC veteran Luis Pena arrested and charged with robbery and battery. I didn't know. I wasn't gonna put this on the run sheet. I wasn't. And then I saw the mugshot, and I'm like, that's Angry Bob Ross, a violent Bob
Yes.
Ross. What is
Yes, I
violent
saw
Bob
that
Ross
this morning.
doing? Oh,
Dude,
no.
it's still up in the air. Now hold on. We don't know exactly what's going on because I'm looking here. It says that a sudden snatching, battery, and that looks like that could be anything from like somebody said something to him or they took a picture when he didn't want the picture taken and he snatched his phone. Because remember, this happened in Florida. Who else got in trouble in Florida for snatching a phone and breaking it?
Connor Mack.
Exactly. So this what it looks like sound. And then they go on to say that, there was a anonymous call that told the police exactly where Mr. Pena was, and they went and got it. So it sounds like that they wanted him to get arrested.
Well, what I'm reading in the story is that Pena might have also missed the arraignment, and so therefore a warrant was out for his arrest anyway.
Oh, how do you miss an arraignment? That means they let you go home, and then they're like, "Yeah, you be back up here in the morning." It's like, "Yeah, okay."
So we'll have to keep our eye on it. But yeah, violent Bob Ross, man, come on, man.
With a name like Violent Bob Ross, y'all. I mean, I'm surprised it took this long. To be quite honest, dude is a beast in the ring. But once again, y'all be playing with these fighters like they normal folk, and they not. Okay, dudes literally get paid to get punched. All right.
Yeah, it's true. It's normal. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. This is the fight card. We got some fights coming up this weekend. This is the fight card. This is where we talk about the fights coming up this weekend. UFC Vegas 30. Gane versus Volkov, Saturday, June 26, 2021, at the Apex Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Got 6 fights on the card. Raoni Barcelos versus Timur Valiev. There we go. Valiev.
Okay, the first one, it should be Howney.
You're right. Howney Barcelos. Yes. I gotta get an origin of where these people are from. Howney Barcelos. Maybe it's Barcelos. I don't know. Versus Timur Valiev. You got Justin James versus Charles Rosa. You got Michael Prazeres versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. See, I wish George Stallworth was here today.
One of us is going to show up.
I wish y'all were both here so that I wouldn't mix y'all's names up. I wish George was here because I'm crushing these names. Crushing them.
I'm sure he's one of the 4 that's watching us right now.
Tim Elliott versus Sue Mudariji. You got Maxim Grishin versus my fraternity brother. Ovince St. Preux. Ovince St. Preux's coming in for late fight replacement. I don't think this fight is at 205. I thought this fight was going to be fought at heavyweight because Ovince hasn't had enough time to cut weight. So I think it's going to be fought at heavyweight. And then in the main event of the evening, Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. To be honest, this is not a fight card that I'm super excited about. I'm probably only going to watch the co-main and the main, just so I can support Ovince St. Preux, and then I'm going to watch Cyril Gane hurt Alexander Volkov.
Well, this is why I like these cards like this. Well, first of all, it's at the Apex, so it's really intimate. There's not a big crowd there. I'm game for that. Secondly, these guys fight like they got something to prove. Okay, and that means that the god of violence shall be appeased that night. So I'm watching.
All right. Let's go. And we're gonna do flash fight picks for Ovince St. Preux versus Maxim Grishin. This is a late fight replacement, so anything could happen. This is like a Wyclef Jean song. Anything can happen.
No, don't do that.
All right. Who you got? Grishin or OSP?
OSP. I got OSP. I'll always go OSP. I'm always, I'm still rooting for my boy.
I am honor bound, as he is my fraternity brother, to root for him. So therefore, I am rooting for OSP. But I just feel like he's kind of fallen off, and if he hasn't trained in a while, if he's coming in late fight replacement, just not a good look. I don't like those odds.
Right.
Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. Who you got?
Oof. I'm gonna go Cyril Gane. I'll go with that. I'll take Cyril.
All right, you and me, we are two peas in a pod.
So we end this together.
Because Alexander Volkov, he is a long, tall kickboxer, and he knows how to use his reach. He knows how to use his spacing and his footwork to keep people on the end. But Cyril Gane is a tall, just big, strong kickboxer, and so therefore, I just feel like when it becomes a kickboxing match, then those things that are difficult to measure, those are the things like Cyril Gane's strength and his size and his ability to grapple that's going to make a difference in this fight. And I just see him piecing up Alexander Volkov and possibly submitting him.
Absolutely. It's one thing being long and tall. Cyril Gane's been in there. He's been there, done that as a kickboxer. He knows how to get through that.
Yep,
what Alexander Volkov that has been through is that much power. Okay, that's a lot of power on Cyril Gane.
The last time he faced that much power, it was Derek Lewis, and Derek Lewis finished him in 14 seconds left in the fight.
Ooh.
Remember that?
Yes, I do remember.
My balls were hot. That's where he was like, my balls were hot.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah.
So anyway, that's it. Follow us on social media. On Instagram, I am at Combat Sports Talk.
And I am at Keys to Victory on the gram, and that's where I'm still doing my weight loss. I kind of took a week off because I've been trying different cardio exercises. Mm-hmm. I found something, a program which I'm not gonna shoot out here, give a shout out to, but I just want to say follow me. Get inspired. All right. If you guys got something, if you guys got tips that you want to put out to me, go right ahead. Do not send me food videos because I will make that food. Okay.
Yeah.
I like to cook, people. Okay. That's how I got this.
Exactly. And I like to eat, and that's how I got this. George's Darkside _ Muay Thai _ and you can find Kalechi at Push Pull Pray on Instagram. You can find us on our website at www.combatsportstalk.com. And as you look below, you can see that we are on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. And so I would like to just make a shout out to MMA Junkie, MMA Fighting, MMA Mania, Bloody Elbow. And as you can see, I'm rocking my Intelligent Defense Discussion Group shirt because that's where all the sites and places where we start our conversations that we use on this show. Happy Father's Day to you again one more time, Mr. Keys.
Same to you, sir. Same to you.
And let me wrap this up then. I am Ryan Smith, reminding you to keep your hands up, your chin tucked, and throw bombs. We'll catch you next time.